Hello friends of Ultracycling, my name is Barbara Stöttinger and it's a pleasure for me to present Franz Preihs to you. Currently one of Austria's biggest ultracycling athletes and Race Across America finisher. How are you?
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm fine. I just finished my training and I'm good, and thank you.
Really, very impressive if you like training in the morning.
Well, it's a big schedule at the moment. I do a lot of training. I split the training 3 times a day for 2 to 3 hours, and so I do one in the morning basically, then during noon and in the evening a third session of training.
We're sitting here in your really nice flat in Graz with its relaxing atmosphere, but as I went in I just saw your stationary bike in the room next to us. So please explain to us, is this cozy home really the same place where you do your intensive workout sessions? Or how can we imagine your training habits?
Well, as you realized, I have a separate room where I have my stationary bike, my indoor training, and that's where I keep most of the time training. During winter months it's very cold and snowy outside, it's harsh weather conditions. So I also do some kind of alternative training during winter months, like alpine skiing or mountain running. But most of the time I spend on the indoor cycling bike, and I try to focus on the races I do, and I can do it very well. I can handle it good.
So I can imagine there can't be enough time for training to prepare a race like the Race Across America, isn't it?
Well, actually, I think that you can. It's like training on the edge. You can do too much and you can do less training. It depends on the athlete, and you have to find the perfect combination of training hard and regeneration. I think that regeneration and giving the body back what you really need is most important for the athlete. You just have to recover very well, and then when you train hard, you have to recover very good, and that's the formula for victory, I think.
The Race Across America is also called the toughest bicycle race in the whole planet. It's about 5,000 kilometers, 33,000 meters of altitude difference, up to 50 degrees in the desert, but also snow on the La Manga Pass. So it is really, really very hard to imagine. So I think you already know my next question. Why do you do this? Is it some kind of ego boost or a prize? Or what's your personal reason?
Well, there are different reasons to do Race Across America. Basically, it's very well known in Austria, and it's some sort of the godmother of ultracycling races, and it's just it's hard to explain to someone who isn't involved in RAM. It's a journey to your inner self. It's you getting to know you in situations you never would imagine in real life. You go really down on the limit, and so for me it's the ultimate race, and it's some sort of addiction. You know, you're producing some sort of I can't explain. But when I first did RAM in 2008, I had so much problems with my broken collarbone, and I had so much pain to go through. But when I crossed the finish line, there was basically no one was there but my crew and some people from the RAM staff. But I felt a very, very intense feeling for myself, and in this moment I knew that I will come back, and then until I found the ultimate race, and when maybe I can do it.
So it's a really very personal thing for you to participate in the Race Across America. Your first participation was in 2008. Like you mentioned, you broke your collarbone. So please explain to us, how does that happen?
Well, I guess it was some sort of sleep deprivation. I just was on a huge flat road in New Mexico, and I didn't sleep for a couple of hours, and it was very hot outside, and I was on my handlebars, and it was going straight, and I did some sort of nap on the bike, and then I crashed into a huge road sign and broke my collarbone, and basically that was. I was sure when I fell down, I was completely. I was sure that there was something broken in my shoulder and my collarbone, and then we went to the hospital in Clayton, and did some X-rays and checked if there are internal bleedings, and then I talked to my doctor and said, can I go on? And he said, if you can deal with the pain, you can try it. And that's what happened. We went on and on. And
so nevertheless, you achieved a terrific 4th place.
Yes, God, thank God. it
With
was
pain like hell, I guess, isn't it?
There was a lot of pain, but not really from the broken collarbone. The pain was more from I had to change the position on the bike, so I had a lot of pain on my neck. I had to put on a special bandage for the collarbone, and it was rubbing against my skin, so I had a lot of bleedings, and it was all blisters, and it was really hard. But we talked about 2009 also, and 2009 was much more pain, and 2009 was a situation where I just can't handle the pain anymore, so my doctor had to quit the race for me.
So 2009 there were serious problems with your knee.
Yes.
And you had to pull out of the race after when? How was it happening?
Well, I guess I had to pull out approximately around kilometer 2000. So I don't know actually what happened. We did improve the training, and I did train very, very much during winter months, and I felt really strong for race. I gained some muscle mass, and I was really in good shape and good condition mentally and physically. But just 24 hours in the race, I felt that something deep inside my knee wasn't right, and I talked to my doctor, and he tried to infiltrate the knee, and my massage therapist was working on it, and but it got worse and worse, and I wasn't able to push the pedal anymore, so we had to quit.
Okay. So you already mentioned a few points of your training. That leads me to my next question. Which aspects do you cover in your training? Is it mostly the cycling training, or are there also other aspects like mental or emotional things?
Well, both. I do a lot of cycling. I do a lot of alternative training during winter months, as I told before. And when I'm on the indoor cycle trainer, or when I do very long hikings during the mountains or above the mountains in Austria, I try to focus, and I try to create some sort of inner images for me. And when I'm on the bike and when I'm suffering, I try to refocus on the trainings, and I try to get some positive feelings, basically. But
no one sitting next to a stationary bike screaming, "Go Franz, go," all the time.
No, that's a lot of other ultracyclists or cyclists that all prefer a huge group when they train in groups, and I do all my training alone. So never training with anyone else.
Very impressive. You're married, and I can imagine it is really very difficult for your wife to know you are in such risky and even unhealthy situations all the time. How does she feel about your ultracycling life?
Michaela and me met before I started this whole this extreme thing of cycling, and we grow together. We build it from the bottom. We go hand in hand, and we had all the stations until a race across America. So I guess it would be much more harder if I would get to know a woman at this station in my life where I am now. So she knows me, and I have to say that we had very hard times during the last years, even after Race Across America. So I guess this kind of sports isn't the best thing for a relationship. So you have really to work hard to keep it going, because it took a lot of your private life.
Yeah. And is she with you in such a race?
She's with me, but she's not actually with me as an athlete. She does the logistics, and she does the organization, and she's also in the van behind, but she's not allowed to talk to me or to handle me.
Okay. And